essentially, right? Like the Chiefs have a pretty good idea of what L'Jarius Sneed is asking for in contractual terms. So they are trading that away, not just the player locked down for whatever. So in order for them to take that, which is nothing, like it really isn't anything for a guy who could genuinely be argued to be in the top 5 corners in the NFL. To take that as compensation means his asks must be astronomical. And the Chiefs are either not at all optimistic that they can even get to where he wants to go contract-wise, or that, it's going to take the Giants essentially saying, or the Titans rather, essentially saying, yeah, cool, we'll pay you whatever just to get him in.
Yeah, there's a couple. Let's talk L'Jarius Sneed for a little bit here, since you already started. So, a couple things. I think the Chiefs have not been paying corners over the last couple of years. Sure. Travarius Ward was I thought, a really undervalued corner for them, and then he got paid by the 49ers and has continued to play really, really well. The other part about the Chiefs that I keep saying about the teams that have the quarterback locked up, you have a choice. You have only so many, let's call them $20 million cap numbers that you can carry, right? In the Mahomes era, in the Joe Burrow era in Cincinnati, in the Josh Allen era in Buffalo. And so they didn't want, I feel like they just didn't want to use one of those. They just paid Chris Jones a ton. You still have Joe Tooney making a lot of money. So you can only have so many. If Jawan Taylor is up there, you only have so many of these that you can use. And so to me, the Chiefs were just kind of leaning into their ability to develop corners and find contributors in the middle of the draft, which is what they got in L'Jarius Sneed. The other part I just wanted to add from a Chiefs perspective, and I know it's tough to do because you're just sitting here in 2024 looking forward. But I like to look at things holistically from what did L'Jarius Sneed do for the Chiefs? How incredible is this? They spent a 4th-round draft pick on him, found an absolute gem of a corner who, as you said, maybe ends up as the best man coverage corner in the NFL right now. You get 4 years of good play out of him, including 2 Super Bowls, and then you trade him for a 3rd. Right, the holistic, what did we spend to acquire L'Jarius Sneed? A 4th. You got 4 years out of him, and then got a 3rd back. If you look at moves, I think through that lens, it's truly unbelievable. Now, it doesn't make you feel better about how are the Chiefs going to fill their cornerback depth chart going forward here. It doesn't solidify that, but I think it's one of those moves that if you keep doing that over time, it's great for the team. One other thing I'll add. And this is mostly in response to, again, we mentioned the late Eric Eager a lot, and he was talking about the cornerback market.
Also not dead.
Not dead, over at Sumer Sports. The cornerback market being suppressed a little bit, and the defensive tackle or interior defensive line market going off. And I think he was likening it to a tactical move across the league. I would argue that the cornerback market is not hot right now because name the top 5 corners in the NFL. I don't think we have a clear top 5 corners in the NFL. Like Jalen Johnson just got paid by the Bears. By PFF standards, he has 1 elite season and a bunch of good seasons, right? Probably some underrated seasons by our grades, but some good seasons. Who are the top 5 corners? I think we're in an era where we don't know who the best corners are. So that's a big part of it. And the Titans it's a little risky, I would say. Let's go pay L'Jarius Sneed. We clearly think he's, top 2, 3, 4 corner in a world where, I don't know, the top 8 it might not be that big of a difference there.
I feel like Kansas City, at this point, value spending money on offense a little more than they do on defense. Like last year, you paired Patrick Mahomes with the best defense he's ever had, and you won a Super Bowl. On the other hand, knowing you have Patrick Mahomes, I think you're fairly bullish about what you can achieve on defense without a top 5 defense talent-wise.
Yeah.
So they had 2 defensive players hitting the market, hitting a big contract. They were probably only ever going to keep one of them, and they chose to keep Chris Jones, at which point you don't really have the bargaining power to get maximum compensation, I guess, out of Sneed, because you're only – I mean, maybe I sort of feel like they could have done better than they did, but whatever. At that point, you're effectively advertising that this guy's not staying here. He's. I mean, immediately they tagged him. It was like they're tagging him to trade him. So he was being sent away. The Titans, on the other hand, have the money to spend because they have a ton of cap space. B, they don't have a quarterback tied up to big money. They've got Will Levis on cheap money, right? So they are in the same world as the 49ers right now, where they've got a window to start throwing money at other guys on the roster for a few years until, assuming Will Levis is their guy, until, they have to pay him, and then the whole dynamic changes again. So it makes sense in terms of Kansas City willing to give that guy up and Tennessee wanting to pay him the money that Kansas City doesn't. It's just the extremity of that, disparity, where it results in really a genuinely tiny amount of compensation. For all the flack the Titans took for trading away A.J. Brown for, a first rounder and a third rounder because they didn't want to pay him, they just got a top 5 corner for nothing, for a mid-round pick.
I mean, I do really like this move from Tennessee's perspective. I wasn't trying to downplay the move. I wanted to see it from Kansas City's perspective. I get it. From Tennessee's perspective, hey, say what you want about are they ready to win or whatever. You're right. I mean, they have Will Levis for the next couple of years. And if Will Levis isn't the guy, then they're moving on to another rookie contract quarterback so they can afford to pay some of these guys.
And obviously it's not, you just get, you have to pay him, right? But even if they give him a contract that makes him the best paid cornerback in the NFL, let's say they reset the market, this is the new best paid corner in the NFL. If you just said, if L'Jarius Sneed had signed this last year and come off the year that he just had, right? And you were just saying, this is who you're trading for now. You're trading for L'Jarius Sneed a year into his market-setting contract. That would still be a good move for Tennessee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's only I don't think that almost any deal they sign him to can change that outlook. This is a good move for the Titans, who bring in a top-tier corner, knowing they're going to have to pay him, but they have the capacity to pay him. He just becomes one of their best-paid players at one of the most important and valuable positions. It makes a ton of sense. And Kansas City just didn't want to go there.